I'm Zach from 4 Ounces of Freedom, and my next guest makes a return to the cage on September 14th when she faces off against Tatiana Santos for Coliseum Combat Zone in Monroeville, PA. You've seen her on the show before. She's the silent treatment, Faith Nichols. How's it going today, Faith?
Hey, what's up? I'm pretty good. How are you?
I can't complain. So, coming off a win in your last MMA bout against Destiny Page, you now face Tatiana Santos. What I feel is probably the best matchup in women's Pennsylvania MMA. Still growing and still kind of getting rebuilt. And I think you both are at your spots where like this fight makes sense. You both share two of the same opponents. Fights kind of went the same way on those two fights as well. What have you seen from Santos, and like how do you feel you stack up against her?
Um, I don't know. I want to test out her boxing a little bit just because like she doesn't seem to throw too much, but also the fact that she's a brown belt, I really want to test out like my wrestling skills a bit more because I've been able to actually get that more in the cage now, and I just want to see if I can progress from there.
So, Coliseum Combat Zone, this is their first show. They're making, their new entry to the Pennsylvania MMA scene, a welcome addition. Out that way, you have 247. Come a little more eastern, you hit, the Mavericks, then you hit over to the East Coast with the CFC. So nice addition that's going to add more spots. They're already saying 2 shows for next year. How'd you come across Coliseum Combat Zone?
Nicole, their matchmaker hit me up and then I told her to talk to my coach. They worked it out and we're fighting. So
Nice. And then as far as your coach, I think I have it noted down. Where's your camp at nowadays? Like, what gyms are you at?
So I'm a demolition fight team right now. I'm still great friends. I talk to my old coaches back home every so often, up at High Ground Jiu Jitsu, but I've been at demolition fight team for a year now.
I thought you were at Demolition, and Demolition right now, lots of fights on the radar right now. You have Butka in 2 days of time recording. You have Alonzo Turner going for a title in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Over in Atlantic City. You're fighting in Monroeville. And a win here then takes you to a 4-3 as an Ami. Like when we talked before your 247 fight, we kind of hinted like, when does Faith go pro? At 4-3, is there a time frame yet, or are you still testing the waters? Because you faced the top Amis in the area so far, so the record shows it. Most people will gawk at it, but there's reasons why. As of right now, you're 3-3. Like, are there still plans to go pro?
Definitely. Coach told me after this fight, potentially get a couple pro boxing fights in and then go pro MMA.
Nice, because you have kind of moved around. You kind of did boxing, you did grappling, you did MMA. You're touching all. Even you're basically meshing the arts separately to own in, and then bringing them together in the cage. Has that been like just because? Again, like the women's MMA scene's kind of still getting rebuilt. Is there not anything offers, or were you kind of focused on rebuilding those skill sets elsewhere?
So I like to just kind of keep those skill sets, like try to really hone in on one, get it sharp again, and go at it. And like in between fights, I feel like it helps me a little bit better, just to keep the train going, so that way I don't get that cage rust or anything like that.
And last time you won a fight, you won the fight after. You break the streak. You have one already under your belt. History tends to repeat itself. So, like I said, another win here, 4-3. That does line up with your next MMA bout. Probably should be a debut on the pro side. I like the idea. Get some more striking in via boxing. Maybe even another grappling match under your belt as well. Grappling, is starting to kind of pop up everywhere outside of just like the grappling only shows. Like I said, the 247 guys, they have grappling shows. Maverick, I think, has a few now. Like everyone's adding like 1 or 2 matches on there as well. So you're given a lot more chances to own in on these skills. But outside of that, like how's the gym life been so far? You're always there. If anyone follows you on Instagram, like you're always at the gym. So like how's the gym life been over the past year?
I love it. Like, I've always told, like, my mom and everybody I wanna do that, like, million-dollar baby thing where I'm pretty much, like, just in the gym 24/7, just working on my skills.
And, it shows because we met on the worst scenario situation, and like I said, this anyone that knows how to see talent saw things in that fight that weren't able to be fully utilized. Um, and we see it each time. I mean, even in the last fight against Elena, or not last fight, but the two-tail fight, like the 247 guys texted me, they're like, dude, this is like fight of the night level fights. And I don't think you won. I think someone local got it, which is, I'll leave that comment up in the air. People know where I'm going with the local love there. And then you came over and you got the win over Destiny Page. So one more win, you go pro. Where do you see yourself in like the next year then? If you go pro next year, where do you want to be this time next year?
This time next year, I wanna be, like, LFA, maybe scooping up a, UFC Contender Series contract or something along those lines.
Again, even in more addition to, you mentioned LFA. Invicta's back too. That's even another option. They actually understand there's weight classes to the women's MMA as well. Like the UFC only cares about like 2 divisions right now. I think you are at 115 if I remember correctly, correct?
I
And
bounce between the 105 and the 115.
I'd say I thought you could probably be a 105er, but there's not really many offerings at anim weight, which is
No.
bullshit. I know, like that's why I always push Invicta because they understand 105s are, it's like the 125s in the male side. You're
Yeah.
fast, you can still get finishes, and the fights are just exciting. So like, if anyone was watching from Invicta, like, would you be interested in going there maybe next year too to build out that 105?
Yeah, definitely.
I think that would probably be best because, like I said, you showcased the talent at 115. I think you could really blossom at 105, especially at your age. The weight can still be made at 105. Take advantage of it while we still can, and then as you build up, build up to the 115s. But I'm gonna pass the mic to you. I know you tend to have a lot of sponsors still, so I'm gonna pass the mic to you to kind of give all your sponsors out, and we'll wrap it up afterwards. Mike's all yours.
Yeah, I wanna just give a quick shout out to Prompt Quality Painting. They're great friends from back home. Um, my friend Sierra Schwartz, she has a chiropractic business back home. And then some of my other sponsors, Pete's Media Drip, he's actually a fighter too, so you might see him in the scene sometime soon. And just some local love to my gem, Dylan, who's fighting soon. Um, just I think that's about it.
Yeah, mindless guy fights Saturday against Andre Petrowski, another demolition guy versus CFFC guy. So really interested in that fight. Tuning in for that one. But September 14th, you're back in the cage, Coliseum Combat Zone. If they do offer a stream, I will have it linked below. Usually when these first events come out, it's a little like in-person only exclusive event. But otherwise, I'll have the link below. Best of skill and look forward to talking again in the future.
Thank you.